Okay, so I have met now one of the stars of this year's folk festival. He is a 40-year volunteer, Harry Paine. What does it feel like, Harry, tonight to be here on opening night?
Well, it's exciting. There's no question about that, especially this year because it's so new. Everything is so new. This is what we had sort of dreamed of many, many years ago when we first started the festival. We had no idea what we were really going to start. You know, it was just going to be a one-year event. It was just going to be a folk festival for a few people because Winnipeg was not used to folk music, and so the first few years, Mitch sort of had to slide in folk musicians in some ways, and trying to convince people, and then all of a sudden, Winnipeg became kind of a center. I remember I was in my friend's house, and I was looking out the window to the church basement next door. This was a few years after the folk festival started, and here was a group of people who were clogging in the basement of this church, and I thought, cloggers, you know, who would have thought that Winnipeg is catching on? And then we did a survey one time. We found there were more guitar players in Winnipeg than there were in any other metropolis anywhere in Canada. And
Wow.
I think that's what we started, you know, and I think.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I always found really important was the sense of community that the folk festival has developed. You know, I think that people, I think that Winnipeg is one of the strongest centers. You know, and I've lived in a few places in the world, and it's one of the strongest places where there's a sort of sense of community, where people come together. Like I live in Wolseley, and Wolseley is a community like no other almost. You know, it's just. And I walk down the street, and I know almost everybody on the street, and
you know almost everybody here.
And Wolseley, you know, Wolseley is devoid of any persons this time of the year.
Oh, I know that. But Harry, for yourself, you used to be La Cuisine, as we know it now, feeding the staff, feeding the artists, and feeding all the volunteers.
Yeah.
You started off feeding 375?
360 people.
360,
Yeah.
And now how many do
We
you
had
feed?
8 people to do that.
And how many do you feed now?
Now we feed over 6,000 on Saturday night, and we have a crew of 280 people to do that.
Incredible. Okay, so your favorite festival moment?
I think my favorite festival moment was, oh dear, the name. I can't forget the name. I can't remember the name of the performer. But it was Sunday night on main stage. The performer started to sing, and all of a sudden a storm came over, and the rain came down, and the RCMP came up on the stage and said, everybody should go home because there's going to be hurricane force winds, and everybody just huddled closer.
That is the Folk Festival. We've got Oh My Darlin' up on main stage. It is the Winnipeg Folk Festival 2013, the 40th anniversary.